The stage is set, the winners to face either La Rochelle or the Exeter Chiefs back here on May 20th in the Aviva final. Those two meet in France tomorrow, and there is the trophy that the remaining four teams are playing for. Donal Lenihan is alongside me. Donal, it's been brilliantly built up since we knew who'd be facing who in these semi-finals. How much are you looking forward to this one?
This is a cracker in the making. I mean, what a game we have in prospect. In my opinion, two of the top four club sides in the world. You know, you look the current European champions, La Rochelle, you go down to New Zealand, and you have Super Rugby champions, the Crusaders from Canterbury. Those four, for me, dominate the game on a worldwide basis. You look at, of the 5 nominations for the Six Nations Player of the Year, Mac Hansen is the only one not involved today. Caelan Doris and Hugo Keenan from Leinster, Thomas Ramos and Dupont at scrum half, who of course was the Six Nations Player of the Year. So literally, Des, it's this game sprinkled with stardust all over the place.
As the teams walk together, you can just sense that air of tension, that little bit of eyeing up of each other going on. So many of these players will know each other so well from the recent high-profile and decisive Six Nations clashes. And with Johnny Sexton only in a watching brief now, having played his final game for Leinster, how big an influence he's been down through the years, including in some of those finals, of course. Well, how big an impact can Ross Byrne have in the absence of Sexton, and how big a role will Wayne Barnes play? The appointment of match referees on an occasion like this one with the stakes so high, always a point of intrigue, and it's Wayne Barnes who's got the nod for it.
Yeah, it is. Wayne Barnes is a massively experienced official. He's been here before, he's done that. You mentioned the injuries, at least with Johnny Sexton and James Lowe. Leinster had been anticipating that for some time. I think the loss of Robbie Henshaw during the week is a huge blow for Leinster in the context of the other two that are missing from the backline. So a big day for Jordan Larmour and Jimmy O'Brien, two experienced internationals, but they'll be expecting big games from them today.
Well, the countdown is on. Star men, game breakers, game winners, all over the pitch on both sides here. It is Romain Ntamack of Toulouse, the top 14 league leaders, the 5-in-a-row European champions, who get this Champions Cup semi-final underway. So many questions here. Can Leinster influence the game? Can they curb the influence of Antoine Dupont? That is one of the big questions. Here is Thomas Ramos, gets his first touch. Taken to ground by a very clean tackle from Hugo Keenan. Don't have too many fond memories of their visits here to Toulouse, but there was a 2003 European Cup final win against Perpignan here when Vincent Clerc was their try scorer. Leinster looking to remain organised defensively here as Toulouse carry with threat for the first time. Ramos into the line, lovely cut back on the inside. Dupont onto it quickly, and quick ball to work with. Jack Willis wearing 6, we saw him in the 7 England jersey in the Six Nations, and now they look to use some of those front rowers, the likes of Cyril Bay, to carry and try and soften up Mo Vaca. He's into the action as well. Richie Arnold, the 6'10" Australian, but they turned it over to Toulouse, and Leinster looking to run it out from deep. Toulouse showing their intention right from the off, as Leinster are doing here. Floated ball out, and a little show and run from Natai. Back on the inside, supporting Jemison Gibson Park, and now the chase is on. Who can get there first? Covering from the right wing is Juan Cruz Malia. And Toulouse have to recover and regroup. And the ball is presented cleanly, and as expected, we're less than 2 minutes in. We've action at both 22s already. And after that flurry of activity, that helter-skelter opening couple of minutes, Dupont will slow things down here and get his kick away.
Well, what a start to the game. We were anticipating explosiveness in attack. Both teams showing what they're capable of. Bit of a let-off for Leinster here. Arnold losing the ball in contact. Double hit coming in from Ryans and Van der Fleer. But here, adventure from Leinster. Ross Byrne happy to go wide. Charlie Natai hasn't played for since the 7th of January. Yet Leinster looking to counter-attack.
Line-out throw is from Sheehan to Conan, and now Gibson Park, and now swung wide for Ringrose, in the form of his life, Gary Ringrose, and that's saying something. Gibson Park, Natai gets his hands on the ball again. 113 days since he last featured. With injury issues to deal with, Charlie Natai. Big role to play now in the absence of the influential Robbie Henshaw. Slowing it down here, Gibson Park, and looking for that gap. He was almost through. Two of the top scrum halves in the game right now, Antoine Dupont, Jamison Gibson Park, both looking to test the opposition early on around the fringes. Gibson Park again pops it out. Over inside the 22, and the first penalty of the game goes to Leinster.
Yeah, and already we've seen lessons from the game. Leinster initially didn't find touch from their first exit. Toulouse, as we knew they would do, looking to counter-attack straight away through Thomas Ramos. But Jamison Gibson Park, what he does is he keeps the back row honest. You've got to keep your eye on him. That little break from him, getting in behind the Toulouse first-line defence. You see Aldegheri there, the prop. He's first defender, doesn't do a great job. That enables Leinster to attack Toulouse on the forward foot.
You run in there, you did. I thought you did well.
Giving away that early penalty. Good start for Leinster.
Yeah, I agree. He adjusted, went back, tackled.
It looks a very straightforward opportunity now for Ross Byrne to kick Leinster in front, straight in front of the posts.
That's what we expected.
20 metres out. Into the backdrop of a reverential hush around the Aviva Stadium. No problems for Ross Byrne. 137 points now for the season, where he has been prominent, of course, with Johnny Sexton not featuring too often.
Yeah, a nice easy one for Ross Byrne to start off with. And how many times will we see the camera flash to Johnny Sexton up in the coach's box when Ross Byrne is lining up a kick? The beauty for Byrne in this particular occasion, as I mentioned earlier, he knows Johnny Sexton, unfortunately, won't be playing for Leinster again, so that is taking a bit of pressure off him. He's plenty of time to build up to this game.
Conan did well initially after a little stumble. Managed to regain his balance as a counter-ruck here from Toulouse, though. Looked to be over the ball, and Dupont making a check with the referee here, but it's back on the Leinster side. Van der Fleer rolls it with his studs, and now Andrew Porter. 4 tries already this season, including against Racing and against Ulster in this competition. Porter.
And use it! Let him go, James.
Little look over the top from Gibson Park. And Tamak and Ramos in the backfield for Toulouse. And you don't want to be kicking directly to them, so into touch from Gibson Park. And Toulouse will have this line out midway inside the Leinster half.
Yeah, that's better from Leinster. Not only do you find touch, but you find it in the second or third row of the stand. Doesn't enable Toulouse to go quickly.
That clean out from James Ryan.
Yeah, that's what he does. A lot of that hard work at the breakdown.
Mo Vaca has plenty of big men to hit in that line out, safely secured by Toulouse. Little look down the short side from Dupont. Cyril Bailly, one of their big ball carriers, met significantly on the gain line by Jack Conan. Dupont floated out by Ntamak. Fans thinking there was a hint of forward about that one, but on we go with Lebel. And back with the Toulouse forwards again.
Big hit there from Tyke Furlong on Flamon.
A lovely step off the right foot from the massive Meafu. And here is Ramos. And any penalties in this range, and Ramos will be the man to step forward. Bailly carries again, but again, no way beyond Jack Conan. Just seemed to avoid him up in the last couple of phases of play. Taken into contact by Mo Vaca. Then it's out the back. Floated on further by Peter Aki. And now a race on over on the far side, the little chip and chase. And Toulouse maybe looking for a penalty. It's safely diffused by Hugo Keenan. And Leinster getting on with it quickly, looking for that space in the backfield.
Bring them on!
Kick returned by Ramos, and that is the beauty.
That's an outstanding kick, 50-22, which means Toulouse get the throw. What a kick by Thomas Ramos. He's having a brilliant season. Top point scorer in the Six Nations. Oh, that's a brilliant kick. It's a killer for Leinster.
Okay.
Peter Aki here, you don't see Hugo Keenan beaten on the outside too often, but just used the fend. Fortunately,
second, please,
he was able to get back and clear it, but that kick from Thomas Ramos, superb.
Well, the introduction of the 50-22 has been heralded by full-backs and back three kickers all around the game, and that was inch perfect from Thomas Ramos. What an opportunity for Toulouse now.
Leinster, big step.
So consistent in this competition throughout the years. It's Leinster's 14th semi-final, Toulouse's 15th.
Watch on.
They haven't got a win against Leinster in Dublin since 1997. Good take at the back of the line-up by Flamon.
Oh man to floor, oh man.
Locker back row are so versatile. Now it's Malvaka. Straightening it up and drawing in a couple of Leinster tacklers. Bailly will carry again and looking to spin out of the tackle this time. Lovely central position here for Toulouse. Quick hands as well. And they drive on even further with Jack Willis, who in a difficult Six Nations for England showed up well, and now they've a 3-on-2 over on that far side, and the finish is on here for Toulouse, in for the early try. What a great response. And Peter Aki, who has shown up well already. Well, they worked that so well, Toulouse, and found those numbers on the outside. The scramble Leinster defence couldn't get there.
Well, that is Toulouse at their best. Foundation coming from the 50-22. Just got their big runners off the back of the line out. Jack Willis, one of many to carry there, but look, they have space on the outside, and Intimac recognised there's a 3-on-2 there. Difficult, and Peter Aki, Lammer had to stay out. Peter Aki had the power just to drop the shoulder inside Gibson Park, and a lesson for Leinster. Kick badly and you're going to be punished. What a game we've on our hands. Jack Willis made the decision to stay with Toulouse. It might cost him his England career after the World Cup, but he's not worried about that now. He's staying with Toulouse for occasions like this, and you can see what it means to Ugo Mola.
Yeah, and all that happened at Wasps certainly worked out well for Toulouse and for Jack Willis himself. Fantastic club to be able to turn up to and make the impact that he has done, and involved in that Toulouse try. Ramos to step forward now with his first kick. That's the angle he's facing. It is on its way. And straight through the post from Thomas Ramos. We know how confident he is in terms of his kicking, even when the ball's on the ground. That's a soccer pass he produced recently. Yeah,
but it's brilliant rugby from Toulouse, just recycling the ball quickly, using those big forwards to suck in as many Leinster's defenders as possible, recycling quickly, and options left and right. Brilliant awareness from Intimac to see the space on the left-hand side.
Well, a game that started as we hoped it would. Ramos secures the restart and then driven on by Francois Crowe. Versatile operator across that back row for Toulouse and for France. And Dupont finds his exit, and with that exit kick, let's head down pitch side to Bernard Jackman. Bernard.
Yeah, all the talk out of Stade Toulousain is that they've never been as well prepared for an away game in Europe, and they've started so brightly. The first 10 minutes, they're the ones who are, I suppose, setting the tempo, have had two really good attacks, and they're looking to get that ball to the left wing as much as they can and try and take on Jordan Larmour. So dangerous time for Leinster. The game on here.
Dan Sheehan, bugbear for many. He's almost on the pitch there as he throws that one, but line out secured and out by Van der Fleer, and then Gibson Park. And the soundings out of Toulouse all week ahead of this one, claiming the key lessons have been learned from that heavy defeat in the semi-final here last year, that they're primed to deliver in a big way today. It's been an encouraging start from them. Larmour drifting on the inside, looking for that little chip over the top.
Penalty advantage, James.
Gibson Park.
High tackle.
There's a possible penalty advantage here for a high tackle, and the referee will go back for that now.
Yeah, Leinster aware they were playing with that advantage. High hit going in. Not quite sure who it was from the Toulousain side. Might see it here. Yeah, it's Malvaka, the hooker. Just coming back against the grain. Gary Ringrose on the receiving end, and no surprise that
I want to see lift, not pull. Yeah.
Signals for the post straight away. But as Bernard said, it's been a cracking start by Toulouse. They're certainly in far better fettle than they were at this stage last year. Because of COVID, they played all their knockout games away from home. They had that extra time penalty shootout against Leinster the previous week to the semi-final, but they're sharp. None of this side started against Stade Toulousain in the top 14 last weekend, and you just sense they're on a mission, but a chance for Rossburn now to close the deficit to 1 point.
Watch stop, please. Watch stop.
Well, he took a hit a few moments ago, Rossburn, and that would have drawn a few gasps from the Leinster supporters.
Watch back on.
Fit to continue though. Has a little look after that one and sees it sail between the posts.
Yeah, thankfully he looks all right, like you, Des. I saw him down in the back field just before Leinster scored the try. He took a bit of high hit. Just put yourself in the shoes of the Byrne parents. Given that Ross is starting, Harry is on the bench, so if Ross goes off, Harry comes on. There he is. You can imagine the chat in the Byrne household in the build-up to this game all week.
And Tamak gets us going again, and he avoids Jack Conan this time, but finds a man very comfortable under a high ball, Hugo Keenan.
And use it!
La Rochelle Exeter to come tomorrow, that one in France. The top 14, hoping it might be an all top 14 decider back here in Dublin on May 20th. As that one's judged beautifully, nothing Ramos could do. Ends up carrying it into touch.
Well, it works out brilliantly for Leinster, inch perfect from Jamison Gibson Park. I think he learned the lesson from not finding touch the first time, because Thomas Ramos, he's just patrolling the backfield. You know he's going to run back at you, but by carrying it over, Leinster have the line out here.
Sheehan to the front, and Conan's been a notable target for him with these early lineouts. Floated on by Natai, then it's Ringrose round the back. Rossburn off and running here. One more pass to Larmer, dances back on the inside. Toulouse scrambling and trying to cover. Fluid stuff from the Leinster backline. Sheehan, quick hands again. James Ryan was the target there. Pass couldn't come though. Toulouse man standing between the man and ball.
Yeah, what a brilliant set piece play for Leinster off that lineup. Beautiful passing off left hands. Great running from Jimmy O'Brien coming around from the left wing. Jordan Larmer, this is what he does best. He's brilliant in possession, great feet, sucking in 2 or 3 defenders. And Ross Byrne, I think, playing for the penalty there. Good experience out of him. Flamand just in his channel.
Le premier oui, mais le deuxième non. Le deuxième était un en avant.
The first 15 minutes of this game have flown, played at a high tempo, high pace.
Went back and then he gathered it with the other arm and it went forward.
A few heavy hits already as well. And we've seen both sets of replacements out going through warm-ups already. And it looks like Toulouse going to lose one early on. Barassi.
This is the problem.
Pierre-Louis Barassi making way.
Just remember,
yeah,
Paul Graou
good balance every stage.
will be the one to come on.
But when you go with a 6-2 split on the bench, you do take a risk of losing it back early in the game, which is exactly what's happened. Paul Graou is a scrum half by trade, I think. Now, Arthur Retterie also plays scrum half. He won a Champions Cup with La Rochelle last year. He can play on the wing, so it's interesting to see Graou. And we just have to watch to see what Toulouse do in terms of revamping that midfield. But he's a loss.
Yeah, you can roll the dice in terms of how you load your replacements bench, and sometimes you can get away with it, sometimes not so. So for Pierre-Louis Barassi, the outside centre, it's an early end to proceedings here, less than 15 minutes played, and he's had to come off. Paul Grau, his dad Stéphane, was a prop for France.
Keep high, use.
As you said, a scrum half by trade. Gibson Park, can they take advantage now of it? But will need to be a little bit of reorganisation in that Toulouse backline.
Let go.
Leinster starting from the 22, Van der Fleer. Where the carry gets through the first tackle. And the hits continue to come, hot and heavy. Caelan Doris dealt with in uncompromising fashion that time. Here is Ringrose. Hugo Keenan trying to get it away to Natai. He's been wrapped up by Malia. But Leinster continue on the front foot here. Gibson Park, quick ball again as he whips that one out to the wing. And he's on it again, he's got Jimmy O'Brien. Now is that intentional knock-on? Leinster fans will claim it against Thomas Ramos. And he's been yellow carded here. And in the space of the last minute or 90 seconds, that Toulouse backline is in difficulty now. Barassi lost to injury, and now Ramos to a yellow card.
Yeah, but it's been a great 5 or 6 minutes for Leinster. They've dominated in the collisions, going forward. And no question in my mind, that was a yellow card for Ramos. He slapped the ball forward. But again, Jamison Gibson Park putting pressure off the base of the ruck. Just watch him here. He sucks in defenders. Ramos, no question, bats the ball down with his hand. Jimmy O'Brien frustrated outside. But interesting now, can Leinster do off this line-out what Toulouse managed earlier on in the game when they scored that opening try?
Well, these are the big moments when the big players step forward. Power play moments, a man advantage. Ross Maloney takes it, and now Leinster look to set that maul. Dan Sheehan, 9 tries already this season. Rob Russell's recent try against the Lions in South Africa moved him one ahead of Sheehan in the try scorers chart for Leinster. He's broken away from this one, and Willis holding on to him for dear life here, 2 metres short of the Toulouse line. Is the try on the way? Furlong pops it to Porter. Tangle off the ball between Arnold and James Ryan. That's been sorted, and now it's out to Jimmy O'Brien. Lost his footing as he stepped inside and looked to get away from Grau. Gibson Park again. Leinster playing with an advantage. Porter reaching and getting there. Leinster over, and the pressure pays off. Jack Conan.
Yeah, that was brilliant from Leinster. They kept the pressure on, starting with the line-out maul. They didn't get any purchase early on, but they kept at it. Great response. Thomas Ramos sitting in the naughty boy's chair. He's seen his indiscretion punished even further. Dan Sheehan, Toulouse did well initially in holding up the ball, but Sheehan has brilliant feet, sucks in two defenders there, and Jimmy O'Brien again just keeps the ball alive. Good ball presentation. And Gibson Park picks out the biggest man he can find, and that's Jack Conan. Great try, Jack Conan.
A big response from Leinster. And a chance now for Ross Byrne to kick them out into a 6-point lead.
Yeah, probably a bit higher, isn't it? Yeah. How's your side looking at scrum, Luke? Yeah, I thought so. Good. Yeah.
That's a lovely angle for the right-footed kicker. We're right behind that one, and it never deviated from its path. Leinster 13, Toulouse 7.
Gibson Park again just spreading the ball wide. He knows that Toulouse are down a back, but it's the manner with which the ball gets recycled quickly. And Jack Conan, he's had a very good season.